Hey, well, welcome back to Raw and Unfiltered. Glad you're here. And we want to talk. In the last video, we talked about resilience, and we're doing this whole series on what's going on and how we should act with everything going on in the earth today. We talked about resilience and holding on to hope and remembering there is a future beyond the one that we know right now. And what we have to do is we have to embrace the fact that we are in a tough season right now on the earth, and this isn't going away, right? This is going to go on for a while. We have a war going on, right, between the dark cabal and us, but they're really going to start fighting against each other more. And if you think for a minute, and this is really fascinating to me on these articles that I read and forums that I'm in, and I just laugh that people think that the cabal is all going to get along so friendly and together, and they're all coordinated, and Putin's actually working with George Soros, and George Soros is actually working with China. And I mean, it's just fascinating to me that everybody thinks that all of these people are actually coordinated and working together. Let me tell you something that has never happened in history. It never will happen because humanity will never allow it. It's just, you've got fallen people that can't get along. Put a group of kids together in a room, and how long does it take before an argument and a fight breaks out and egos get in the way? Well, this doesn't go away when you got 50, 60, 80-year-old men. I'm just telling you, human nature isn't worked that way, okay? So you're going to see the dark cabal begin to turn on each other. And that's going to be one of the things, because the dark cabal, and this is very important in this video, understand, is really fighting against God and God's agenda on the earth, okay? And so this is a war that's primarily going on between the dark cabal and God. And we all have our part in that role. We have a very similar story with a man named Pharaoh in the Hebrew culture. You might have heard about that, and how Moses actually led the people out, right? And so we're in such a season right now where a lot of very, very powerful men and women are actually abusing their authority and actually thumbing their nose at God and saying, hey, I'm going to take control over the world. There is no God. They're living and acting and breathing as if there is no God. Well, they're about ready to find out that there is, and they're going to lose their power. They're going to lose their grip, and God and them are at war. And we are here. We got to pick our sides. Which side are you on? If you're on God's side and you're serving his kingdom, then you have to live and breathe and act like it, right? So we have to know who the victor is, and you have to live like that. And that's important. No matter what you're reading or what you're hearing, no matter what new virus comes out, no matter what war goes off, no matter what nuclear bomb goes off, remember who's in charge. Now, I'm going to tell you 4 things that are going on right now on the earth that you need to be aware of and prepared for, okay? Number 1 is war. You've already seen this, but these wars are only going to escalate. I expect China to not just take over Taiwan, but to take over a lot more than that. I expect warfare with the United States. I wouldn't be surprised to see war on our own soil. Yes, I said that. You don't need to be panicked about that, right? Remember who's in control. Remember, we talked about this. You have to have resilience, and you're going to make it through the hard times. Set your heart and your mind, but prepare. We're going to talk about preparation in the next video. Number 2 is famine. You need to be prepared for famine and food shortages. It's massive. This is a very serious issue. There isn't enough food in the earth. China's hoarding and buying a bunch of grain right now. 65%, as I heard of yesterday, of the world's grain supply, China's been buying up. And most countries are not exporting food. As a country in the U.S., hey, we're in trouble. We import a lot of our food. You need to get prepared for that. We're going to talk about that. Number 3 is disease. If you haven't figured it out, the era of biowarfare is here, and it won't stop. Now that it's out and people have seen what's going to happen, believe me, you're going to see more of these things, one after another. It's going to go on for a while, and you need to be mentally prepared for an increase in biowarfare. And then finally is natural chaos. These are natural events. The earth is out of balance. We've already seen the largest hurricanes, the largest tornadoes over the last few years that we've ever seen. The earth is completely out of balance. You're going to see that increase. Violent storms, earthquakes, volcanoes. Get prepared. These things are going to happen. It's that season in the earth. But please, I want you to understand, this isn't the end of the world, right? And so we are going to make it. And we have to be good stewards down here. And remember, we have a purpose here. We were born for such a time as this. Set your mind to be strong during these times. We have war, famine, disease, and natural chaos. Those are the 4 big storms going on in the earth today. So I want you to be encouraged and have hope. And now let's go in and talk in the next video about what do we do.